Made possible through support from ARC Thrift Stores, Colorado Access, Colorado Developmental Disabilities Council, Developmental Pathways, and the ARC of Aurora. Think Change Talks. Foster care is a temporary arrangement that gives youth a safe place to live when their parents or family of origin are unable to safely care for them. The ultimate goal is to safely reunite a child with their family. Developmental Disabilities and Foster Care, a series of different perspectives.
Hi, I'm Allison Butler. I am the Director of the Division of Disability Rights at the City and County of Denver. We're housed in the Human Rights and Community Partnerships Agency, and I've only been here a short amount of time, but this is just a continuation of my about 2 decades of doing disability justice advocacy. In my career of doing disability justice work, I hadn't focused much on the foster care system, child welfare system, but I did spend 1.5 years working at the Office of Respondent Parents Council. I followed in the footsteps of Carrie Ann Lucas, who had worked at the ORPC and was a pioneer and true advocate for disability rights for parents. And the work that I got to do at the ORPC exposed me to the whole child welfare world, including kids and parents and foster parents who had disabilities, and it was very rewarding and eye-opening. So my role with the foster care system has been in advocating for the rights of people with disabilities, the children who are involved in the system, the parents who are involved in the system, as well as even the foster parents or potential adoptive parents. So making sure that disabilities are recognized, understood, accommodated, appreciated, and supported. The foster care system provides the opportunity for people with disabilities to get the services that they need. It's very unfortunate, and what I've found is that many people with disabilities involved in the system have not been involved in the disability system. Many times I found that parents with intellectual developmental disabilities didn't know what Medicaid waivers were. I saw that sometimes with kiddos too, but I would say that was much more prevalent with parents. And then the parents are being called into the child welfare system saying they're not doing a great job. And the truth is they just kind of had their hands tied behind their back because they didn't have the services and supports that they could have, and that could help them, better understand how to be a great parent. So making sure that people get hooked up to those services, whether it's a child getting hooked up to the services they need or a parent getting hooked up to the services they need so that they can be more successful at home. There were many times that I would be involved in a case and somebody would say, okay, the parent has IDD, the kids have been removed from the home, and of course they're not going to be able to be returned. And I say, oh, okay, how come? Well, the parent has IDD. Okay, and what else? So too often it was assumed that if a parent had an intellectual developmental disability, then they could not be a successful parent. So I think there's lots of things that we can change in the foster care system, and I think that's true for all of our systems. And I've worked within lots of systems, and I am always a person that says, hey, what about doing this? But I think just starting from the very basics, I think one of the biggest things we need in the foster care system is more education and training. So recognizing, identifying, and just seeing that a person sitting in front of you has a disability, and very closely tied to that, not making immediate assumptions about that person. So knowing they have a disability and recognizing that's one part of them, and then being able to say, what do we do from here? Do we need more resources? Do we need more evaluations? Do we need to bring in a different team to help support this child? What do we need to do? So I think that education piece is not sufficient. One thing I'd like people to understand is that I think the foster care system can play a role in breaking the cycle of having kids go into the foster care system, be removed, have it be a very traumatic experience, then they become parents. They haven't learned the tools that they need. Their kids go into foster care, and we just sort of, the cycle repeats. So I think the role that the foster care system can play is sort of stopping, identifying what needs may exist. So if a child has IDD, what services, supports does that child need? And if we can get them in the foster care system, let's try to get them in the birth home as well. And let's play a supportive role there. And the more that we can build that up, I think the less reliance we will have to have in the future on the foster care system. I think the other role that the foster care system and foster parents and homes can provide is really partnering and mentorship with birth families. And I've seen that, and that's amazing. When a foster parent is able to work with a birth parent on, here's some of the tools that we have available that now you can have available. Here's how we use this. Here's some of the ways we do things. And really mentoring a family that's open to that partnership, all for the best interest of that child. Absolutely amazing.
To learn more about convenient and contemporary educational products through ThinkChange, visit www.thinkchange.training.